y'all bear with us a little bit. We're going to catch up on the minutes. Everyone didn't have a copy. Okay.
Well, thank you. Do you need this?
And there's the rest of the...
Yep, that's good.
Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. We're going to bring the meeting to order. As far as the roll, everyone's present with the exception of Mr. Armbruster. We have before you the minutes from last month's meeting. Do we have a motion to accept? Or are there any changes on those?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as stated.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Okay. All right, we have two things on the agenda this evening. Mr. Cody Sheets is going to present the first one.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Cody Sheets with PDS. So the first item on the agenda is BOA 2307-0006. It's a variance. The address is 796 Buck Court. So notifications were made per KRS 100. Are there any conflicts of interest to declare? And did anybody perform a site visit?
Nope.
I don't know if it has to be stated, but I live in the area. I walk the dog a couple times a week. It's not really a site visit, but I pass by.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
So this is a variance request from the rear yard setback requirements of the residential conventional subdivision, or RCVS zone. The applicant proposes to construct an in-ground pool with a rear yard setback of 12 feet 4 inches where 25 feet is required. Here we have the site in question highlighted in turquoise. The parcel is approximately 0.33 acres. It's located off of Buck Court at the intersection of Deer Trail Drive and Buck Court. The surrounding area consists mostly of single-family residential dwellings. So the site is zoned RCVS. The RCVS zone permits single-family residential dwellings subject to the following requirements. The key one being a rear yard setback of 25 feet. The existing land use is single-family, and the surrounding area consists mostly of single-family homes. Here we have an eagle-eye view looking kind of east. The property is highlighted in blue with the green push pin. So here we have a Google Street View looking at the front of the home. The proposed pool will be in the rear yard. This is a view looking north, and this street view is from 2013. Here we have a more recent image from Google Street View. This is a picture of the rear yard off of Deer Trail Drive, showing a little bit better where the proposed pool will be. This view is looking northeast, and the Google Street View is from July 2022. You can note the slight grade of the yard there dropping down to the street, and the existing landscaping as well. And here's one more Google Street View. from Deer Trail. And again, note the existing landscaping. So this is a topo map that shows elevation changes. The applicant's property is highlighted in blue. You can see a slight slope in the rear yard that does drop down a little bit. So this is another GIS view. Here we have the applicant's property highlighted in yellow, and highlighted in green on the map are existing pools, which are from the GIS measurement, less than 25 feet back. Now, prior to the new zoning ordinance adoption, it was permitted for pools to be within 10 feet from the rear lot line. The Z21 ordinance, which was adopted, increased that to 25 feet. So these pools could have been installed prior to the zoning adoption change. This is the site plan that the applicant submitted. The existing house is highlighted in peach. Here we see the proposed pool. It'll be 12 feet 4 inches from the property line nearest 3875 Deer Trail Drive. There is a proposed 4-foot aluminum fence that'll have 2 gates, swinging, self-closing, and self-latching with a chime. Here's the existing landscaping that we saw from the Google Street View image. And the applicant is proposing the installation of 5 emerald arborvitae and 5 green giant arborvitae, and also an installation of a hot tub and pool equipment. So this was the site plan that was submitted to our zoning administrator. So the initial permit was denied using the scale that was provided on the site plan. It was noted that the pool from the water's edge would be 12 feet 4 inches from the property line, where a 25-foot rear yard setback is required. So section 4.05 of the Erlanger zoning ordinance states that pools, spas, and related equipment are only permitted in the rear yard and may not be located within any required setback. Also, all pools and spas must meet enclosure and gate requirements for the Kentucky Building Code. So again, that setback is going to be 25 feet. So KRS states that before any variance is granted, the board must find that the granting of the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, alter the essential character of the general vicinity, cause a hazard or nuisance to the public, and allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulation. So in making these findings, the board shall consider whether the requested variance arises from special circumstances which do not generally apply to land in the vicinity or in the same zone. In this case, staff finds that no. The requested variance does not arise from special circumstances which apply to other properties in the same area or zone. The applicant is in a better position to build a pool than many of the surrounding properties which have steeper elevation changes. The second consideration is whether the strict application of the provisions of the regulation would deprive the applicant of the reasonable use of land or would create an unnecessary hardship of the applicant. In this case, staff finds that yes, it would create an unnecessary hardship. The applicant stated in the submission letter that per their contractor, placing the pool along the wide axis of the yard would bring the slope into consideration, which could require additional earthwork and grading that could be up to $10,000. The final consideration is whether the circumstances are the result of actions of the applicant taken subsequent to the adoption of the zoning regulation from which relief is sought. In this case, staff finds that no. The application is not the result of actions taken. The applicant identified the need for the variance through the normal permitting process. So staff is giving a favorable recommendation for the variance request to the rear yard setback of the RCVS zone. And staff finds that the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, alter the essential character, cause a hazard or nuisance, and will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the zoning regulations. In this case, staff finds that the applicant is installing landscape buffers around the pool to shield it from the view. The applicant has also received letters of support from the two neighbors that would be most affected by the placement of the pool. The applicant's home is also located on a corner lot, and the proposed placement of the pool will offer the applicant additional privacy. So I'd be more than happy to take any questions at this time.
Okay. Anyone have any questions for Mr. Sheets? No? Okay, very good, thank you. Okay. Whoever's going to speak for or against this, please stand and raise your right hand.
Yeah.
Applicant?
I'll speak for myself.
Okay. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Would you state your reason for your request, please?
Yes, sir. My name is Noah Osterhag. I'm the homeowner at the property. And my wife and my 5 children and I would like to have this pool to enjoy our backyard and the time that we could spend together. You know, the placement of the pool allows us to preserve, as proposed, allows us to preserve the maximum amount of our remaining yard as grassy green space to play in.
Okay. Okay, anybody have any questions? No? I think any discussions? Any comments? No? I think this is pretty straightforward. I'm going to ask for a motion.
I'll do it. I would like to make the following motion with reference to file BOA 2307-0006, a variance request to reduce the rear yard setback requirements of the RCVS zone. I move to approve the variance based on the facts and considerations contained in the staff report and based on the testimony of staff and witnesses present at the public hearing, as the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare. It will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity. It will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public, and it will not allow an unreasonable circumvention to the requirements of the zoning regulation.
Very good. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. We need a vote. If we'll please just, I don't know exactly how we're recording this. I guess it's just off of the tape, so we'll just state our names and then say how we're voting. Okay?
Bob Whalen, yes?
George Bettis, yes.
Steve Conley, yes.
John McVeigh, yes.
It's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Sheets, I'd like to call your second item this evening.
So I would like to submit the following material. It was submitted electronically for the record. This is for variances. I'll give you the last one there.
Okay.
So this is BOA 2308-0001. It's another variance request. The address is 1485 Rising Ridge Drive. Notifications were made per KRS 100. Are there any conflicts to declare?
Nope.
Okay. And did anybody perform a site visit?
Just to clarify, this is the one where I walk my dog, sorry.
Oh, this.
Yes, sorry. I mixed them up. This
Thank you
one.
for
I
the
live in this neighborhood.
clarification.
I think we're all clear on that then. Okay.
So a lot of this may look pretty familiar. This is another variance request from the rear yard setback. The applicant proposes to construct an in-ground pool with a rear yard setback of 18 feet where 25 feet is required. So here we have an aerial view of the property, highlighted in turquoise again. This property is 0.28 acres. It's currently occupied by a single-family home and is located off of Rising Ridge Drive, north of the intersection of Rising Ridge Drive and Sherborne Drive. Doe Run Lake is located just to the north. The surrounding area consists primarily of single-family residences and forested park space. So it's located in the RCVS zone and primarily surrounded by other properties in the RCVS zone. There is a conservation or CO zone just to the north. And again, that rear yard setback will be 25 feet. Here we have the land use again. Primarily single-family residential with some recreation and open space. You can also see a handful of vacant lots for future single-family residences. So here we have the eagle eye view. That property is highlighted in blue. This will be kind of looking sort of north. You can see the vacant lots on either side, as well as the forested area behind the home. So here we have a topo map of the property. You can see where the applicant's rear yard drops down fairly quickly just past the house. The parcel just to kind of the northwest is owned by the HOA. This was the submitted site plan. So the existing home is in orange at the top there. There is an existing 4-foot aluminum fence around the property along the property lines. This is the proposed concrete walkway that would be installed with the 18-foot by 36-foot pool that would have a 9-by-9 spa just to the kind of bottom, just to the right of it, or yeah, left of it there. And we can see here where there would be an 18-foot setback from that rear line. This was submitted by the applicant. Excuse me. This was submitted by the applicant to show the existing fence, the 48-inch aluminum fence. So pools and spas only permitted in the rear yard, and they may not be within any setback. So the considerations when considering a variance. So again, we see the three findings that the board should consider. Regarding the first one, staff finds that the variance does arise from special circumstances. The subject lot backs up to a steep ravine that is owned by the home builder. The 3.27 acre area directly behind the rear yard would be very difficult to develop in the future due to the steep topography. The second consideration, looking at the deprivation of the applicant of the reasonable use of the land or the creation of unnecessary hardships. In this case, staff finds that yes, the strict application of the provisions of the regulation would deprive the applicant of the reasonable use of the land. Installing the pool parallel to the house would cut off most of the flat usable yard space. In the backyard, as the rear portion of the yard is steeply graded. And looking at the third one, staff found that the request for the variance came up through the normal permitting process. So staff is giving a favorable recommendation on this. We find that it will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare, will not alter the essential character, and will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public, nor allow an unreasonable circumvention of the zoning regulation. So the area behind the home has a low likelihood of being developed due to the topography, which does provide a natural buffer. And the proposed placement of the pool will also allow the applicant to use their yard more fully. So I'd be more than happy to take any questions at this time.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? think we have it. Okay. Anyone speaking for or against, please stand up and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Very good. Could you state your reason for your request, please?
Yes, similar to what Cody said, the orientation of our pool in our yard where it's perpendicular and going, meeting that rear setback of 18 feet allows us to have the maximum amount of flat yard space. We have a couple young children and dogs in the house, and they love to run around and play. So that's the orientation that we would like for the pool, and we would appreciate an approval.
Okay. Any questions for him? Okay. That piece of land that belongs behind there belongs to the HOA, is that correct? Okay.
I think it belongs to the home builder. Sherborne currently does not have an HOA.
Okay. All right. Just, yeah. Very good. Well, I don't see anybody here to object to anything, so any discussion on it?
No, I'll make a motion.
Okay. And again, we have a motion in order.
All right. I would like to make the following motion with reference to file BOA 2308-0001, a variance request to reduce the rear yard setback requirements of the RCVS zone. I move to approve the variance based on the facts and considerations contained in the staff report and based on the testimony of staff and witnesses present at the public hearing, as the variance will not adversely affect the public health, safety, or welfare. It will not alter the essential character of the general vicinity. It will not cause a hazard or nuisance to the public, and it will not allow an unreasonable circumvention of the requirements of the zoning regulation.
Very good. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Very good. And again,
Bob Whalen, yes?
George Bettis, yes.
Steve Conley, yes?
John McVeigh, yes.
Carried, unanimous. Thank you. Okay. That concludes those. Staff items. Anybody from the staff has anything for us? Okay. I have one thing that I will mention. I had a meeting with Mr. Glenn the other evening to discuss the fact that our payment for these meetings hasn't been changed in 20-some years, so they're looking into that, and, you know, it's just maybe try to catch up with times and with other cities, just to kind of give us a little fuel money or something, so we appreciate anything, anywhere that goes. So, all right, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see.
Hey, thank you. You'll go for the action letter.